All right. So, excuse me. I saw the movie, and now it's time to talk. It's time to talk about the movie. So, if you haven't seen the movie, I think it's the best idea to just not even watch this movie. Come back when you saw the movie. Other than that, enjoy what I have to say, and if you guys have any ideas or any information that will help spark up some ideas and some new information about what they're going to do or what they're heading, all you have to do is just comment below. So here we go. I am glad to say that there are some surprises that was left in the film. I mean, they basically spoiled all of us. They spoiled all of us. Let me count right quick. So they gave us one trailer, the second trailer, and the third trailer. They gave us that. And if y'all guys, which I'm gonna support this dude, his name is Seven Webheads. If you actually was following him, you actually got to see even more stuff. You even got to see the German one, which had like some more cutscenes. I think that was German in Europe. Many other ones. You got to see like even more stuff. Yeah. And we also had the three Kellogg scenes, which I forgot one of them, but I remember one of them was the subway, which they actually enhanced the subway even more than what they showed us. So we had the subway, we had the fact of Peter's powers. Peter's strength has got really increased a lot. Third one I forgot. I forgot what the third one was. But yep. Oh, we also got this. Of course, if you guys seen the $3 thing at Walmart, you got to see more of the car theft scene. We also got the 4 minute exclusive, which was on America's Got Talent. I missed it, but if you actually got to see on TV, I applaud you. So that was the one with the bridge, which I'll basically say at the end what I disliked about some of the things that they've done. And is there anything else? I think that's about it. That's basically it. They just gave us trailers galore. They gave us two exclusives, three Kellogg exclusives, and that's about it. So, with that said, I'm gonna tell you all the stuff that I saw that wasn't in the trailers or any of the exclusives that was like, that's cool. They didn't change. They didn't announce any of this. So we had Peter playing hide and seek with their dad. That's how the beginning start, and also the beginning credits, which there wasn't a beginning credits whatsoever. They technically had the. It basically shows how he was like he's a baby producer. I'll say that, kind of like a baby producer, because this is his second film. And so far with the credits, I mean the credits were interesting, but you kind of were hoping for like more of the Sam Raimi idea, the fact of milking the idea. You have to milk it instead of just saying, "Here you go, man. Here's your milk. Enjoy." Instead, what Sam Raimi did was kind of like it's like kind of slow motion of milk getting poured into the glass. You can see like some of the foam and everything. Heck, he even put chocolate sauce in there and he just stirred it around in slow motion. Most likely in the background was like, I think Justin Timberlake's, I forgot what that's called. Get Your Sexy On or something. No, Sexy Back, yeah. The instrumental version of Sexy Back. That was most likely the intro for that. Well, but still, he's just went boom, ta da, there you go. That's all you get. And now we begin the movie. Well, he was kind of like, let's just get on with the movie instead of, let's just make him wait for a little bit. Let's just entertain him just a little bit with all of the credits and stuff. Let's just entertain the guys. I mean, it came for entertainment, so first let's make the trailers entertaining. Mm-hmm. That's what he did while he was just like, let's get on with it. Let's just do it. So there was a longer than thought parents goodbye. Yeah, so yeah, we got to see there was like more to the thing than just for it. The mom saying goodbye and dad had to take her away and then they just walked out the door. Which that was in the trailer. Oh, here's the good one. Peter's oh crap. Oh man, I bent this little thing. Oh, that's what happens when you want to play around while doing something. So that you'll break something. But anyways, yeah. That's even funny. See, break something, it goes straight into Peter's strength. What happened in the subway, then the bathroom, then what happened in his bedroom, which I think that was funny. I hope someone does like the Groundhog's Day thing, you know? Yeah, but for that to work, you actually have to have like one scene where he just tapped the thing, you know? Yeah, so you have like 3 times where he did it. Well, maybe like 30 days, like every single time, and then he comes to the part where he's like, well, bam, like what happened in the movie. Which I would like to say I nominate Friday by Rebecca Black to be the one that song that'll wake up every single day. But of course, everyone's not really knowing what I'm saying, but if you know what I'm talking about, well, that's good for you. If you don't, well, it's just a side thing to say. Sadly, my stuff is not really in order, so that's a good news. So if you're listening and you didn't take the spoiler hintity hint, well, at least my stuff is not in order. So I'm not spoiling the whole entire movie. I'm actually just saying stuff that you kind of have to be like, okay, that was at the end. Okay, that's at the front. That's the back. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, Spider-Man playing on his phone, waiting for the lizard to vibrate one of his webs, which was like, I was like, really, really now you actually have Spider-Man playing on his phone, completely unmasked, doing that. I'm like, wow, that's just wow. Oh, Spider-Man get grazed on the leg. It had to be grazed because if he was shot in the leg, he would have went to the hospital. He had to go to the hospital quickly. But he was grazed. It had to be a graze. Which the stupid behind police officer. Oh my gosh. He told him, hold your fire. He's like, I don't give a third. Yeah, I got you. Oh, you said hold your fire? Yeah, I would love to have seen the part where the dude is like, "Oh, you said hold your fire," and then gets slapped on the back of the head, saying, "You idiot! You might have doomed us all." Yeah, I hope that police officer feels bad about himself right now. He's like, "I got his leg," and he's like, "Oh, hold your fire! Oh my gosh, I doomed us all." I somewhat doomed us all, especially when he's trying to leap and then he hears, yeah, Spider-Man has been shot. He has been injured. He is struggling to get up the walls. I hope that police officer feels very, very bad about himself, saying, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to live this down. What would be even funnier is that all the news was like, yeah, he was shot by this police officer. That would be awesome. These dudes be like, oh my gosh, I'll never live this down. Oh my gosh, I'm never gonna live this down. Oh, anyways. Construction workers help his pursuit of the lizard. Yeah, they actually the kid that we remember got saved in the 4-minute exclusive. He basically his dad was actually a construction worker and he actually helped. He helped out Spider-Man when he's like, oh, dude, he's struggling. Everyone line up the crane so you're able to just swing by. Yeah, that was like iconic. It kind of brings you back to Spider-Man 2 and 1. The fact that the New Yorkers being like throwing stuff at Green Goblin's like, if you mess with all of us, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. I love that scene. And also, that goes to the subway one too. The subway, no, Amtrak. I'll say Amtrak because I know what I'm talking about. That's actually was shot in Chicago, so I'll say Amtrak. They're actually on the P line, which was the Chicago Loop. So that one where there's two scenes actually. One where they lots of people grip Spider-Man so he won't fall off the metro car, and then when they carried him, and then the other one is where lots of people, especially Matt Lauer, got in front, and it's like you have to get through me, which there's speculation. Most likely, yeah, I know that was not Matt Lauer, but he looks just like Matt Lauer. Seriously, he looks just like Matt Lauer. It's so funny. Oh, anyways, Ben's murder. It's very similar to Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. It's very similar. I mean, it's like different, but it has secretly the same thing. It's that Peter was there, either A, getting money from his wrestling match, or B, he's buying some chocolate milk. But sadly, the stupid idiot was like, "Oh yeah, I'm shortchanging you," or "Oh yeah, those pennies are for people who pay $10 up." Yeah, so you can only leave a penny unless you pay $10. Then you can actually take a penny. Which that's what happened with the dude. Is that Peter's just saying, "Okay, fine, I'm just gonna go then," and like usual, is stop that guy. It's not my problem, or it's not my responsibility, or it's not my job, or whatever. And I have to say, this version sucked horribly. Sucked. It like sucks so badly. It's like, oh my gosh. I mean, I like to say that it was written very well. I'm just saying the fact that the situation was messed up. I mean, instead of driving a car, he just got shot by. Yeah, it's like wrong place at the wrong time. Technically, from Spider-Man 3, the original, I mean, the first movied murder, it was kind of like stupid. Well, technically, both of them are stupid. I mean, we have the first one where using Spider-Man 3 is that apparently the dude tapped on his car window. He says, "I need the car." And he's like, "Dude," he's like, "Son, go home." And then the other dude comes in and he got him out of the car. And the dude just nudged him or bumped into him and Ben got shot. That's how the murder, Sam Raimi's murder, occurred. So technically, the person that died in Spider-Man 1 is the true murderer. Yeah, it's not Sandman. It was actually that dude, because if he didn't nudge Sandman, technically Ben would be alive. So that's what happened. As for this one, technically it's a stupid moment of he had 3 seconds to actually just been like, "Screw this, I'm gonna come right at you, kick you in the face, kick your gun away," which, or just kicked his gun away, so he won't be able to do anything that horrible. I mean, he'll be able to choke him and stuff, but he won't be able to shoot you. So yeah, that's about it on that one. How Peter found the briefcase. We weren't told that. We only saw that in the trailer, but we didn't see the whole entire thing. We just saw that Peter just found it under the stairs. We didn't know that the fact that, oh man, the radiator broke and it's leaking now. It's like leaky water. We gotta make sure we salvage everything that was downstairs. So there you go. Oh, we got detailed wounds. Yeah, I mean, we know that the lizard got him that time, and we saw it in. I didn't mention that we got spoiled by pictures, but yeah, we got pictures of like Spider-Man being hurt, but we didn't know how horribly it was. It's like deep cuts, seriously deep cuts. Oh, and his web shooters got smashed. We didn't know that his web shooters would get destroyed. I mean, crushed. We didn't know that his web shooters would get crushed. Technically, I don't even know in the Lizard because Lizard in Ultimates is a mysterious character, very mysterious. Only told by dreams, and we had an annual team up, and also he was like in one comic issue, which he was in like other ones, but he wasn't a Lizard. The only one he was in Lizard in was in 60, if I'm correct. And by the way, the whole crush web shooters, the first person that was supposed to do that was the Kingpin, and he only crushed one of his web shooters, and he threw him out the window and hurt himself. All right, and some other things is the school fight. We didn't know about the school fight, did we? Well, yeah, we kind of did. I mean, the new trailer that they put out now, we know about the fight. I mean, we don't know exactly about the fight, but we, yeah. The lizard's plan and the lizard's brain. The lizard's plan was that we are. Oh yeah, I said in that one. Okay, I have to put in this one too. So the lizard's plan was that he would just get New York City all sprayed with this serum he created, which the serum has been intensified to 216%. And that would have turned everyone into lizards. Only people who have been turned into lizards were the police officers. And this is one of the things I have to say for pretty much it. Here's the first thing. It's that for pretty much it, he was asking what happened to the people that was infected by the lizard serum in the subway carts and everything. If you checked at this cutscene, which I bet he was just talking with his pals, that's what I think. Not that I don't like it. I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of you or anything. I'm just saying that you might have missed it while talking to your friends, and your friends forgot. Oh, that part. Yeah, but this is the part that you might have missed. It's the fact that he dispersed the cure in the air. And you saw like in one short little shot that one of the officers got touched by the serum. Which, this is basically what happens with Blade 3. Blade 3, they injected Dracula with the antivirus histamine or whatever it was. And that was used to destroy all vampires. Every single vampires, which that dispersed in the air and went everywhere, killing all vampires, leaving only one vampire left, Blade. And that's how Blade 3 ended. If you didn't know that and you didn't see the movie, well, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And it's been out for at least 4 years plus. So if you haven't seen that movie, well, it's a good idea to see it now because that will basically give you the idea of what happened to with the lizard serum cure. So with it all dispersed out in the air, that means anyone who's got infected by it, which means Dr. Connors and those few police officers, excuse me, they are inhaling it. They're inhaling all of it. And if you guys are being like, oh, well, what about with Dr. Connors with the lizard DNA still? Well, here's the thing. Is that, one, I might have been wrong with the 216% DNA thing. I mean, it might be right, it might be wrong. But he took more than one dosage. He took like at least 4 or 5 dosage in all. So that means whatever occurred on his face or in his brain, which we didn't know about the fact that the lizard brain, he was developing a lizard brain. The lizard part of him is growing intelligent and is able to influence him. Is that, well, he took more of the serum, so that's why he basically still has more of the lizard DNA. I mean, he still got the lizard skin going on. He took more of the DNA. I mean, the serum. Alright, more stuff. Spider room. Oh, yes, the spider room. Yeah, wow. And he touched something and did all crap. Yeah, I would freak out too. Oh my gosh, man. Seriously, I would freak out too. Be like, oh, holy crap. I would make it even worse. I would like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. But of course, if that situation happens and I was in there, I will hope I have the black suit on with me too. So the black suit will be like, I got you from here, buddy. I got you. And then it'll just wrap around me and basically tighten my clothes so that no spider could actually crawl inside my shirt like it happened with Peter. Well, technically it was on his shoulder, but either way. Working on TV. Peter is working on TV. I guess what I meant by that is the whole digital thing that they had, which was cool. It's the fact that they had, yeah, that stuff was cool. Yeah, we didn't see that at all. We didn't see the serum finding the serum and stuff. Stacy's death, which everyone didn't see this. It's a good time now to be like, okay, I'm going to obey his orders and turn it off. So Stacy's death. We didn't know about Stacy's death. I mean, I do it. I got a tip from the X-Men of how Stacy dies, which of course everyone should know is by the lizard. But we didn't know. We didn't know by the trails or anything. You only would know if you actually saw what the X-Men put up before, like 2 weeks before the movie came out. If you didn't see it, which I actually posted a video responding to that, doing research and stuff. Which, if you try to click on that video now, it'll say something about, it'll say the usual thing about, oh yeah, this thing got closed down. We just closed it down. Yeah. Spider-Man versus the SWAT team. Yeah, we didn't see. I mean, we saw like pieces of that, but we didn't see everything of it. Or the fact that Gwen's father, Captain Stacy, actually saw Peter. It was you. Yeah. So the dad and daughter knows that he's Spider-Man. But sadly, since he dies, only person that knows that he's still Spider-Man is just Gwen. Which I thought, I'll talk about my thoughts later after that. Alright. The lunch scene. Oh, I'm sorry, people. So the school fight. The school fight actually was the lizard. Yeah, the school fight was actually meant to be about a lizard. The lizard actually coming in after he saw that, oh, Peter Parker. Okay, I'm going to pay a visit to his school. And he's like, okay, I'm just going to rip open one of those stupid toilets. Oh, I forgot I had this jacket on. I'm just going to leave it here so someone can actually identify me. They're like, oh, Curt Connors. And look at this ripped thing. Either he's a lizard or he got killed. Yeah, that was the school scene, which I have to admit that was kind of cool. And they did have a funny moment in there too. It's like, don't make me hurt you, which he's actually beating the crap out of you. You need to be careful of him hurting you. But anyways, the lunch scene. We didn't see all of the lunch scene. The fact that Flash Thompson got a leash. that Gwen Stacy is whipping at him. Oh, they newly worded with great power comes great responsibility. They worded that like way different. They were like, okay, I'm going to put this. I think the best way to say it is that think of it like the Bible. You have like one phrase, King James version, and then all of a sudden you have like another dude is like, I can simplify that, and then they changed it into the now version. So we have the version with great power comes great responsibility, being the old traditional version with this new one, which I forgot. Yeah, but that was funny how he's like that Peter used it against. That was like a good write-in. It's the fact that he's like, okay, well, if your my dad say it, where is he? Where is he? He should be the one telling me this. Where is he right now? Mm-hmm. Yep, and that was like, sorry for people who spoiled. This is like a spoiler to him, but that was the part when he actually walked out the door, and we find out again, psst, his strength is like unbelievable. Which technically that made Aunt May vulnerable because anyone could just come in the house now, and that's where he got. That's where the whole Ben get killed part. Anyways, all right. Oh yes, one thing started straight back at pretty much it. Technically, nothing was ruined. Nothing was ruined. I mean, I was spoiled just as much as you, man, but I didn't really see anything that was like, oh my gosh, I could tell every single thing that's gonna happen into the movie. Which he said it too. He said that there's like some moments, but he said mostly. But I didn't see it mostly. I actually saw that it was like many things. I was like, oh, or ooh, especially like the thing that they're not doing a wrestling match, but instead they just have him fall, just have him fall out the roof and just land in the wrestling ring. Which I was gonna be like, bring out the luchadors. Be like, hey, you broke our roof. Now we got to tussle, Bonesaw style. No, instead they just. That's the reason why he got the idea of I gotta put a mask on. People can identify me. I need to put a mask on. And that's where I got that cool picture that I was using as my icon until I got back up from the whole crap. Yeah. All right. Now, oh yeah. But still, yeah, nothing was ruined. There was nothing really ruined at all. Okay. So there were some letdowns for me. And it has to do with music. It doesn't have to do anything about the secret cuts that they did, which I couldn't tell. I mean, I could tell that from the car scene one where I saw from the $3 DVD. I could tell from that was like cut. That was like some cutting things that you could tell that was like cut. That was definitely cut. But the real problem with me had to be the orchestra, the orchestration, the score. Because you had Sony spoiling us with music as well. And that's the thing that you get with me. Is that if you put some awesome music on a trailer or on the 4-minute exclusive, you would ending. I guess the ending song kind of sucked too, but technically that's just the top two. The two awesome songs that was supposed to be in there. One of them was called "How to Kill Your Wife" or "How Your Wife Kills You" or something. It was like, And we also that was in trailer 2, and then I also had the exclusive with a nice drum solo going on. That those two should have been in the movie. Seriously, those should have been in the movie. I don't get it why you guys lout Sony to be like, okay, we're gonna be creative with this, and then you didn't check it out to be like, which that's one thing. Matt Webb, you definitely need to check out your stuff before it's released. Because if you have heard like some of the music they use, at least you will be like, no, we're not gonna do that. Yeah, you shouldn't do that. Because then they're gonna expect it to be in the movie, and then I have to rewrite some stuff that was some orchestration. Some orchestra people will be pissed because they're like, we've been working for that for like 20 hours, and you're telling me you're going to ditch our stuff for one drummer and like 3 guitarists and a drummer? Really? But yeah, that was Sony's fault technically. I mean, the only thing that's acceptable was the first trailer, the stuff that they used. I think they shouldn't actually have used the guitarists or used the drummer dudes. I think they should have just put the movie stuff in there. I mean, if you put the movie music in there, it wouldn't be like, okay, I'm disappointed. You have the movie stuff that actually sounds kind of different and not even really reflecting what was going on, not the action. Yeah, you didn't even have that in there. It's like, okay. Another thing was the Aunt May they cast didn't seem like the Aunt May. It didn't seem like Aunt May at all. I mean, as for the Peter, whoever plays Peter, no one can actually be like number one Peter forever. No. But as for Aunt May, I'm sorry, but Rosemary, I think that was her name, she will always be freaking Aunt May. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but there's like no other way to freaking do it. Be Aunt May. There's no other way to do Aunt May besides Rosemary. I'm sorry. As for Uncle Ben, technically the performance on both of them they're basically tied. They could both be Uncle Ben. But they're gonna have to write more good. They have to write some good material and get more good acting out of her before I could say yes, that's Aunt May. Right now, it's Rosemary. Rosemary will always be Aunt May. I'm sorry. Rosemary will always be Aunt May. Alright, here are some things that I found which are truly spoilers for people who are still listening and wasn't like, okay, I need to quit listening. I haven't watched the movie yet and he's so spoiling it for me. Turn it off now. Turn it off. As for the rest of you, here are some things. Like, for instance, Eddie Brock's family was written out of the article. In the article, it just said the Parkers crashed in a plane. A plane crashed. Yeah, of course, it's Avi Arad, most likely the reason why they were like, okay, you need to write out the Eddie Brock. You need to write out the Brocks out of this. Seriously, you need to write them out. Oh, anyways, then we have Norman Osborn is dying. Which, that's one thing I can't really figure out here. Because we have we have Oscorp, which we had the silhouette of Norman Osborn on top. I tried remembering that icon, which I still remember it, and then trying to put that together with the surprising figure, the strange figure at the end of the movie, which I can't do it. Because as soon as they put Norman Osborn is dying, it's like, how can I really put together or identify Norman Osborn? Because if he's dying, that means that he looks ill, he looks sickish, and most likely will have that voice that they have in there. But they just said it's not Norman Osborn. With that said, and I can't really post can't tell from silhouette from the dying version, dude. Which that is not dying, or I don't know. Only thing I can tell you is that the iconic figure, if not Osborn, is most likely Trask, which is a stupid idea on my part. I mean, it makes so much sense, but it's stupid because if they're actually going to do the Ultimates, then it's like a little piece, yes. He doesn't want Peter to know what happened to his parents, but on the other hand, he has no reason to hide anything. I mean, yes, he has the folder of every single thing, every news clipping, and everything that happened to his parents, but I don't see the reason why he's going to hide it from him. I don't see it at all. I mean, yes, he hid it a little bit, but he didn't really want to be like, good, the boy shouldn't know what happened to his parents, especially his father. Trask wasn't like that. But of course, I could be wrong. Which that's one thing I'm thinking, is that I could be wrong. Because they basically said they would do Ultimates. But they're not doing Ultimates, they're doing a mixture of both. Which means Trask could be the person, and it could stretch Trask to be something that he kind of is not, or something that he might be that I just don't know about. So if anyone knows about Trask, and you have any details about, yeah, he is that. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he actually does want Peter not to know about his father and all that stuff. If you guys know anything about that, please comment, because that will help me to figure out who is the mysterious character. For right now, it's I don't know. Because if it can't be Norman Osborn by default, because they just said we don't, it's not Norman Osborn. And a matter of fact, they said the fact that they don't even know who it is. So technically, now just thinking about it, I would say it is Norman Osborn just by default, because they said they don't know who it is. So technically, they could be like, "Oh, I don't know who it is," and then all of a sudden they'll be like, "Yeah, that was Norman Osborn." So, all right, we'll just go by that default. Default, he is Norman Osborn. All right, now we got to pretty much it answers. So I already talked about how the lizard soldiers were healed. I already talked about that. The next one is Proto Goblin. He's like, we saw Proto Goblin and all of a sudden he disappeared. I'll tell you what happened, man. This is what happened. If you are really paying attention, you would notice that he actually was hanging from the bridge and he got his head smacked in the window. That means that most likely he is knocked the freak out. He is knocked out. He most likely is at the hospital or something. But of course, we do have the deleted scenes with him in it. So that means that that's like a big I don't know on that one with the deleted scenes. But as for the movie itself, yeah, I think he got knocked out. He was on his way to the veterans to get a guinea pig to use the serum, but he got knocked out. He got knocked out. Since he got knocked out, he's most likely in the hospital right now. That's all I can tell you there. As for the camera destroyed, he said that Peter looked at pictures for the lizard, and he did get pictures. The thing is that he left his camera, and the lizard destroyed his camera. And he found out that it's Peter Parker, which I'm like, dude, if you're going to be Spider-Man, you have to think ahead. Because if I was Spider-Man, I know one thing is that I'll think of like, what if someone finds my camera? Yeah, and it's webbed to the freaking wall. That means they could technically figure out, oh, Spider-Man is A, Peter Parker, or B, Spider-Man is a friend of Peter Parker, and we can freaking take Peter Parker, put him for hostage, and be like, hey, Spider-Man, we got your friend. Come out, or he dies. Which, yeah, either way, that's like total screwed. That's why I wouldn't put property of Peter Parker. I would basically just not even have anything labeled on there. Matter of fact, I would just have like some kind of code written on there, like a serial code. So if it gets stolen or anything, they could just take it to the police. It's like, oh, a serial code. And type in the serial code, and like, oh, I mean, yes. On the other hand, that yes, someone can still find out who I am, but on the other hand, it could be like only the police can certainly know. All right. With that, oh yeah. As for the camera destroyed, yeah, I don't know. I think when I was watching it, instead of thinking about oh he's doing it for the award money, I just thought he was just doing the picture so he could send it to Daily Bugle so that Captain Stacy could be like, holy crap, there is a lizard man out there. All right, men, we need to get ready and go down to the sewers and look for him and stop him. Even though, yeah, well, the good news is that he'll be he'll know that the lizard exists and Peter's not talking a whole bunch of yeah. All right, next. Oh yeah, I already talked about that. If Norman didn't visit Connors, who did? Which right now we're just gonna say by default it's Norman Osborn, even if they said it's not Norman Osborn. We have no idea who it is. Well, let's just say it is Norman Osborn because y'all guys could be playing a gotcha by default. Just like someone was like, yeah, Sam Raimi said Venom's not going to be in the movie or Venom's not the villain just to throw people off. Alright, anyways. Oh, the unbelievable thing is that Peter is unmasked lots of times. He is unmasked lots of times. Unmasked by the police, unmasked by the lizard, and basically unmasking himself so he could play a game on a phone. That's about all I can think of. Oh, the messed up thing about the secret ending is in the trailer. Well, we didn't really see all of it. All we saw was that, did you tell him about his father? We didn't see about his entrance, or we didn't see about his leaving, which was all done with thunder accompanied. I already talked about this is the fact that the murderer was caught by Spider-Man. He gave him to the police. Why else would the person be hanging from the webs? I mean, you didn't see Spider-Man just do it like every single bad guy he found. He just webbed him in the police department. We just saw one person get webbed and put in the police department. I bet maybe that's another cut scene that no one really knows about. It's the fact that he found the killer. He basically was going to do something to the killer, but then he was like, great power, great responsibility. I'm going to allow, and also all that other stuff. He's like, okay, I'm just going to allow the law to deal with you. Psh, take him, put him by the police department so they can charge him up for robbery and murder. So there you go. Here's one interesting fact. Flash is actually a football player. And if you saw Spectacular Spider-Man, yes, he's a football player. But they put him in a basketball. Yeah, they put him in the basketball team. Which is like, wow, really? Yeah, and it did set it up for it set him up for the so-called fight scene where Peter gets back at Flash, but instead he freaking does basketball instead, which I would like to say they definitely got that from MC2, aka his daughter's ID, his daughter's universe, his daughter's life. Because his daughter basically plays basketball. And I think his daughter did the exact same thing, except she didn't actually show off to a bully, but instead she was just playing one game basketball. She was playing the usual thing, and then she noticed, oh crap, I'm able to jump high. Oh crap, I just slammed the basketball. Oh crap, I just broke the freaking rim. Yeah. All right, here's one thing I was kind of disappointed about is the fact that they didn't go in depth with his father. I mean, they didn't go in depth the fact that what else is in the notebook or what's in his briefcase. If they did, he would actually found the adhesive that his dad made, which he actually used that adhesive to make the webbing for his web shooters. But instead, no, you had to do the foreshadowing thing of Oscorp have like steel, some steel thin wiring that can get shot out and it actually works like webbing, which I bet that hurts. That might hurt to be taken off. So yeah, instead of his dad contributing, which it kind of makes. Oh, I mean it does make sense, but on the other hand, it does make sense. It's the fact that if it's made of steel, then that means it should have worked in the water, but yet it didn't. Anyways, things skipped. So far, I saw like some things that were skipped, like the doorman scene that was skipped. Thing I've heard from, I'll just say pretty much it, even though he said from big bad something. The one on one battle where we had Rafa versus Spider-Man versus Lizard, which I would have liked to look. I would have liked to look at that standoff. Then we had the Carter's family, which they had like a few scenes they did shot with a wife and son. They both were cast, but they were cut for some stupid reason. And of course, the board scene, which I was like, wow, when I actually really looked at the movie and I saw that he wrote it on a napkin and he's like, where did you get that idea? He's like, I'm from here. Which I was like, wow. I wonder how the board scene actually occurred because that was kind of quirky. I'm sorry, but that was like really quirky. A few other scenes I didn't write down that I saw that was skipped was the fact of the one with, hey Parker, you want to play football? That was one that was skipped. I was like, wow. Because I would have liked to have heard what his reply was. Oh wait, we already did. Yeah, we saw it in the trailer. We already know his reply. Our mistake. What else? I think that's about it. That's all I have. Now it's time for my opinion. My opinion on it was that it was a decent movie. I mean, it's no Spider-Man 4. I mean, I would have liked to see Spider-Man 4 because, as you can, I basically say this over and over again. I bet I'm saying this for the thousandth time. Is that if you notice, Spider-Man 1 was good. Spider-Man 2 was great and perfection. Spider-Man 3 basically went good slash extremely lower from the first one. So it's either equal to the first one or even lower than the first one. So that means Spider-Man 4, the only thing they can do now is go extremely up. But since there's no Spider-Man 4, that means that the extremely up part will never come, which means Sam Raimi is left with leaving either with the first Spider-Man or basically in shame. That's basically it. Leaving with the first Spider-Man kind of reputation or even lower than that, which I think is actually lower than that. But I'm being nice with saying it could be equal to Spider-Man 1 because I technically say it's lower than Spider-Man 1. It's way lower than Spider-Man 1 in ratings. But it was a good movie. I mean, I enjoyed it. I actually might want to see it again, which I most likely will. might actually do da 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 da, which I'm not gonna say because yeah, it's not cool. So let's see. Yeah, the only things I really didn't like was just the fact that they had two awesome songs and they didn't put it in. Well, they had two awesome soundtracks and they didn't put it in the movie. Funny that my Aunt May found saw that, but I didn't. It's the fact that promises that aren't able to be kept are the best ones, which means that we thought that Peter and Gwen they're not going to date anymore, but it turns out that they're still dating. Yeah, they just have to be secretive. Well, technically, it's just the dad. The dad said, "Promise me you won't have her in it. Leave her out of this." So it's just the dad. The mom and the two brothers don't know anything. Yeah, they don't know anything about his promise. Which is funny, the funeral scene. I was kind of speculating, being like, all right, this has to be Uncle Ben's funeral. Which that's one crazy thing. They left Uncle Ben's funeral out of this. That's horrible though. They left Uncle Ben's funeral out of this? Really? They didn't even have a gravestone or anything. They just said, okay, Uncle Ben's been shot. We're gonna look for the criminal, and then they just straight up skipped. I bet that's one of the ones they skipped too. Is Uncle Ben actually had a funeral? Well, of course, after I heard Stacy's been murdered as well, I was like, okay, well, we have two things that could be, and I say since Gwen Stacy was there, I would figure it might not be. Yeah, I think it might not be Peter's uncle's funeral. I mean, if it's Peter's uncle's funeral, then that means that he should have been in the with that shot instead of Gwen Stacy, or the fact that Gwen Stacy would have gave him the hug like she did in when hug when Ben died, which I bet that would be funny. That's a rewrite too. Is that that hug supposed to have been in the funeral? Oh well. Anyways, well, it looks like Matt Webb doesn't like Uncle Ben apparently. I'm just being funny. I mean, come on. Why would you skip his funeral though? Oh yeah, editing 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 might have skipped his funeral. So either the editors hate Uncle Ben or Matt Webb hates Uncle Ben. Oh, let's see. But still, yeah, it was a good movie. The way they ended it was different from the traditional spider swing, but hey, they kind of made it. They made it worthwhile. They made it very worthwhile. What's even worse is that now I crave the milk chug things now. Hopefully, I'll be able to get a whole case full of them. Even though I don't supposed to be drinking milk, I don't have lactose, whatever crap. I don't have that one. I just have a messed up condition. But anyways, I say that was a decent film. I'll admit that it was a decent film. It wasn't Spider-Man 4 though. It wasn't the one that we. I mean, I had to wait at least 3 days to watch it though. I had to wait 3 days, and that that was like torture. It would have been even more torturous if it was Spider-Man 4, because Spider-Man 4 was scheduled. I mean, yes, it was scheduled, but the dudes at Sony were like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, we want you to go faster, yeah." And that was supposed to have Black Cat in it. It was supposed to have Vulture in it, and it was supposed to be a two-parter. Yeah, so Spider-Man 4 and 5 would actually have been like one movie in total. But yeah, it's not gonna happen now. No Vulture, like Vulture's supposed to be in Spider-Man 3, but thanks to Avi Arad, they had too many villains. Oh yes, and I think it's best to say it's sad that Laura Veskin Veskin Laura Veskin actually died, which I actually do remember it. I actually do remember now in the ticker tapes, and I was like, what does that mean to me? But as soon as I saw In Loving Memory of her and some other dude, yeah. And it wasn't Avi Arad. I wish it was. I mean, yeah, I don't want them dead. I just want those two to be fired. Sadly, she didn't get fired. She was, yeah, she died of cancer, I bet. Because Spider-Man 3, she was doing that interview. She had long hair. The interview she did before she died, she actually looked like Aunt May from Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah, she's just sporting that hairdo. Why didn't she play Aunt May? Oh my gosh. Isn't that funny if she would have played Aunt May? Then that means she's dead. That means they have to make an excuse saying, oh, Aunt May died or Aunt May's in a coma, or they have to quickly look for someone who looks just like her to replace her. One thing I have to say is that the Gwen idea was a bad move. Yeah, it was like a bad move. It's supposed to be Mary Jane. I know that's supposed to differentiate from the Sam Raimi ones, but either way, it's Mary Jane. Gwen Stacy does come into the picture, but it's Mary Jane first. Mary Jane, she's the reason why his suits are a bit good because she's the one that sews them. That means since you guys already indicated he sews his own stuff, like in Sam Raimi, which I thought you guys wanted to be different. But you have Peter sewing his own stuff again, which, well, like, why not allow Mary Jane to come in and she's sewing his stuff? That's what's supposed to be happening. She sews his costumes, and then as soon as they break up, he's like, okay, I'm gonna wear civilian clothes and my mask, which I guess that's where you got the idea of the mask thing and just having him in civilian clothes. But I do have to say, bravo on the whole reveal of Spider-Man thing. That was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one. I mean, Sam Raimi, the way how Mary Jane found out is the fact that in Spider-Man 2, he had to be like, Dr. Octavius, we gotta stop this thing, and he unmasked himself. That's how she figures out who he is. In this one, awesome way how they did it. Awesome way. And I guess technically that was a good idea on how Captain Stacy died, because the way Captain Stacy died in the Ultimates, she blamed Spider-Man for the whole entire thing. Which means, how would that work if she knows who Spider-Man is and she's dating him? That means he will basically feel extremely saddened. Which he did feel sad about the murder. I mean, yeah. But he wasn't really responsible for it. But as for the whole reveal thing, I have to admit that was awesome. Totally awesome. The only messed up part had to be when the mom actually screwed the moment over. Seriously, the mom screwed the moment. And as for the hot cocoa one, which I saw that before. I did see that scene before. But still, that was a good one. Even when I first saw it, I was like, that was a good one you guys made. That was a good one. So, yeah. I made this a decent hour, actually. Cool. But I say the movie was good. It was very good. It shouldn't be shot down or anything. We shouldn't be like, oh, yeah, Spider-Man 4 would have been better, which, sad to say, but yeah, Spider-Man 4 would have been better. But this was a decent one. Yeah, this was a good one. And people wanted the lizard to come out for like a long time, so I bet they're happy with the lizard now being the villain now, even though it wasn't the one that they wanted. Well, that's about it. Peace out.